Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Let's talk running backs. Not a good day for running backs. Trey Sermon, we have to provide context here because I don't want to be unfair to him and kind of where his place is. He almost didn't play today. His ankle got stepped on or something and was seen hobbling off the field. You know, the last practice of the week. Almost didn't go. They were going to let him test it out. He pushes through it. So you have to give him credit. Playing tough, definitely not 100%, but he went out there. You know what? He could have just been Ahkello Witherspoon, been like, you know what? I'm out. He didn't do that. He's fighting for a spot. Now, the issue is that's great and appreciate, you fighting through that. It's a double-edged sword. He looked awful. He didn't look bad. He looked awful. He looked terrible, in fact. And so terrible that whoever the other running back that got a carry, whether it was TDP, Hasty, and damn for sure Jordan Mason, it just makes Sermon look so bad in retrospect. He looked awful, indecisive, slow, no burst, always bouncing outside, just bad. Now, Ty Davis Price wasn't amazing, at least not consistent. That 4th and 1, tried to bounce it outside. Can't do that. Like, you're a big dude. You got to just lower your head. The only one that did that was, guess who? Jordan Mason. Freaking 3rd and 2, no hole. Freaking play behind your pads, not under them. Drive forward, fight for those 2 yards. The only one that I saw big boy running style from, it was Jordan Mason. Leonardo, it would suck to see a 3rd-round pick go to waste. Well, you're right. And at some point, you just gotta, you just gotta move on. It's the law of sunken costs. And I know we all want to say like, oh, but we traded up for the 3rd round and blah, blah. At some point, you got to move on. Right now, if I was making the roster decision, I'm still keeping Trey Sermon right now. But I'm telling him, you prove who you are this next week. You're starting one more time. And unless you impress me, you're off this team. We're moving on. And maybe those are conversations that are happening. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. If I'm doing my depth chart rankings, this is John Chapman's depth chart rankings right here. I'm going Elijah Mitchell, clear number 1. I'm going TDP 2. I'm going Hasty 3. And I'm going Jordan Mason 4. And I'm moving on from Trey Sermon and Jeff Wilson. Now, I'm not saying that's what the Niners are going to do. I'm telling you that's what I would do. Now, they love Jeff Wilson. I get that. And he's probably going to be on this roster. But if I'm telling you what I see, that's what I'm doing. Right here. I'm nobody you need to know. Mason isn't going to make the team, and some other team is going to be laughing at the stupidity if they grab him. He's flashing, man. Gosh, that's going to bother me. Everybody loves Shanahan running backs, right? Everybody loves them. Gosh, man, I would hate to let him go and keep Jeff Wilson and Trey Sermon. That would bother me. I don't think any fan thinks Trey Sermon and Jeff Wilson are better than Jordan Mason. I don't think anybody believes that. Now, there's still another week of practice and there's another game. And I've been saying for the longest time, and this applies to the 49ers more than most teams because of all the depth. Usually these issues solve themselves. Go back to all the 49ers running back injuries that we've had. Literally, Jeff Wilson got hurt getting up out of a chair. I think we lost 5 running backs last year. Go back to 2017. Alfred Morris off the street started week 1 for the 49ers in Kyle Shanahan's first game. Usually these problems solve themselves through injuries and just whatever. We've been lucky not to have those. So it's a different dilemma. We still got another week of practice. We still got another game. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now, and here we go. Let me say this. I wouldn't be shocked if all of the running backs are healthy. If Kyle Shanahan does one of his sneaky roster moves and says, you know what? Jordan Mason actually tweaked his ankle. It's a high ankle sprain. We're going to put him on IR, and we're going to, it's sad. We wanted to see him, but we're going to put him on IR, and that's going to end his season. And you just stash him. It's just, your ankle hurts, right, Jordan Mason? No, coach, it's fine. No. Your ankle hurts, right, Jordan? I guess. Right? Because if you are a running back, you want to be on this whole scheme. You want to be a part of it. So I don't know. Throw it up in the chat. If you okay, this is what I want you to put in the chat. Which two running backs should be cut? That's the question. It's easy to say we should keep. Who should be cut? Which two running backs should be cut?
No, absolutely. And John, I'm in agreement. I think the undrafted running backs from the last couple of years, Hasty and Mason in particular, they're popping big time. I don't know how you could leave them out. And I mean, we're seeing it here in the comments. Wilson and Sermon. Sermon traded, not cut. Too hard to choose, says Debbie. Sermon and Wilson, Sermon, Hasty and Sermon. So seeing kind of a common thread here, John.
You know, and that's the thing. It's so easy to say, "Oh, we should keep Jordan Mason," and I'm champion of that fan club. But it's kind of difficult whenever you look at what you have to get rid of, and that's what's difficult. Yeah, Sermon, Wilson on IR. That's one that could happen. Oh man, but he's so old. He's not old. Actually, we have a very young running back group.